Hi, my name is Hassan Juve, and this video essay for African Study 139. In this video, I will summarize and giving my thought on reading film and lecture from this week, which focus on Black protest and gender theory. One of the main ideas from this week is how Black protest movements are not just about race alone, but also deeply connected to gender, sexuality, and power. A lot of the material emphasizes that we can fully understand Black liberation movement without also understanding how gender roles shape who is heard and who is protected and who is often left out. Sometimes that's turned out to me how Black women have historically played central roles in protest movement, but their contribute are often overlooked or minimized in many cases. They are expected to support movement while dealing with sexism, those same space. The reading highlight that Black women are not just participants but leaders, organizers, and thinkers, even when they are not recognized as such in the mainstream narrative. At the same time, Black feminist theory help explain how system of operation overlap instead of seeing racism, sexism, and class inequalities as a separate issue. The materials show that they work together. Uh, this idea is important because it challenges the same history of often simplified. For example, when we talk about civil rights or protest movement, we often focus on male leaders, but we don't always see how gender shaped those movements internally. Another key point from the week is the idea that protest is not just public march or political speech. It can also include cultural expression, writing, music, and everyday resistance. Black community have always used creativity as the form of survival and protest, especially when formal political system include them. The film and the lecture also made me think about uh, how gender expectation affect activism today. Even the modern movement, there are still tension about leadership, visibility, and voice, and whose voice are centered. Black care voice, in particular, are often left out mainstream discussion, and through they are deeply involved in shaping theory and activism. Overall, this week material helped me understand Black protest and gender theory and are deeply connected. You can really separate the race from gender when talking when uh, when talking about liberation because people experience oppression in different ways depending on how their identity overlap. What I took away from this week is that movement or justice have to include everyone's experience, not just the most visible tradition expected one otherwise. The same inequality can continue even inside a space that are supposed to be about freedom and change. Another key point from this week is that protest is not limited to march, rally, or formal political action. Before this, I mostly associated protests in the large public demonstration, but the material expand that definition. Definite protest can also take the form of cultural expression such as writing, music, art, and even everyday act and resistance. This idea stand out to me because it shows how resistance can exist even when people don't have access to tradition form of power. Black community in particular have host, historically used creativity as a way to survive, express identity and push back against expansion, whatever through the storytelling, music, music or other form of expression. This cultural practice carry political meaning and can challenge dominant narrative. The film and the lecture also made me reflect on how gender expectation continue to shape activism today. Even the modern movement, there are still tension around leadership, visibility, and who voice are centered. While they are being progress, the same pattern can still show up in different way. For example, black voices are often uh, marginalized, even though they have played a major role. They have in shaping both theory and activism, just like I said before. This made me think about how movement can sometimes uh, unintentionally include the very people who are most affected by multiple forms of oppression. It raises and the question of what the true inclusivity actually look like in practice, not just theory. Overall, this week material highly of deeply connected black protest and gender theory. Is not possible to separate race from gender when discussing liberation because people experience oppression in complex and overlapping way. Understanding this connects allow for a more complete and honest view of both theory and current movement. What I look away from this week is that movement for justice must be inclusive of all experience, not just most visible tradition accepted one. Otherwise, inequality can continue even with space that are meant to promote freedom and change. In the end of this week challenge, we challenge me to think beyond surface level, understanding the protest, and to consider the deeper structure that shape both oppression and resistance. It's showing me that real change requires listening a wider range of voice and being willing to question even the movement we support. Uh, And I also wanted to say, Dr. Johnson, I try to to get on the I try to get on Zoom with you on a start on class, like off class, on the Tuesdays and Thursday, and I was not able to do it because it's not letting me log in into it. Yeah, but I will email you what happened and why I missed those assignment. Yeah, I respectfully apologize that I was not able to get on Zoom to have a conversation with you about what's going on. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching this video, and see you on the next one.